Let's bring in Pete Stefanovic once again and Annelise Nielsen. Wow, Pete, where do you start with that? I thought he was very low energy, almost sanguine in his tone. He had sad voice on. He was certainly whinging about the circumstances in which he finds himself. A lot of the supporters in the room right there, very sympathetic to his argument, and probably millions more right around America.
Well, you know what? The judge had warned him earlier in the day that there was no complete gag order, which allowed him to keep tweeting or truthing on Truth Social, and it allowed him to do that speech today. So the judge also said don't use any language that, you know, words to this effect wouldn't be inflammatory, wouldn't incite any kind of violence, with a nod to January 6th there, and he pretty much obeyed that. He took the judge at his word. I agree with you. I thought he turned the volume down quite a bit. It did not go as long as I thought it would. Usually when Trump speaks, you know, and he's got the cameras all on him, sometimes he goes an hour, sometimes even 2 hours. But, you know, he knew that he had the world's attention on him. So one by one, he went through all of his grievances. Yep. He brought up Mueller. He brought up impeachment 1 or 2. He brought up the Mar-a-Lago raids. And remember, there are no smoking guns there. So he's just reminding everybody that this has all happened to him, and nothing until now has stuck. And for now, you know, the band plays on. What's that saying? The dogs may bark, but the caravan rolls on.
Yeah,
that's what he's going to do.
We just saw Marjorie there, one of his biggest supporters, Annelise Nielsen, live in New York for us as well. He said, quote unquote, they can't beat us at the ballot box, so they are trying to beat us with the law. Also notable, I think, a good point there from Pete, that there was no incitement to violence. There was no rallying cry, his supporters in a direct way of protest, if you like.
Yeah, I mean, we all remember January 6th, and I think there is obviously some memory from that. But it is kind of extraordinary, on the other hand, to have a former president of the United States being told what they can and can't say by a court in one single state, not even the Supreme Court level. So you have to remember, this is a First Amendment country. You can say what you like, and that is a protected right under the Constitution. And I think just from observing that was certainly higher energy than what we saw from Donald Trump at his campaign announcement. I don't know if it might have felt different in the room. It also looked like he had a bit of a better turnout compared to the campaign announcement as well. He certainly kept it briefer this time. But I thought it was interesting. He didn't just talk about this particular case, which in the scheme of things is actually, along the legal lines, one of the least worrying accusations coming his way, even if it is the most progressed in a real sense of what is actually going to happen, is in that these other ones could fall by the wayside. Georgia really is probably his biggest issue legally if that does continue, and he did zero in on that as well.